me. Anyway, tonight we're going to have our Saturday night live fireside chat. So anyway, and we're going to look out to the west and see what we have to see. Anyway, everybody see the fire here. Fireside chat. Tell you what, I worked a while on getting this back in like I wanted it today. We haven't had a lot of nights with no wind, and this is perfect. Don't get much better than this. Don't get much better than this. What are we going to cover tonight on our fireside chat? I don't know, whatever comes up in the chat. And, whatever we may see in the sky. But we'll not be so serious tonight, you might say. Try to be a little bit more relaxed. Have a little bit of fun tonight. Fireside chat. Yeah, it's not going to be like Roosevelt telling us how good the war is going and how we need to do, because our war ain't going yet, but it's going to. But I am loving this tonight. You don't get much better than this. This is completely awesome. Heck, it looks better than I thought it was going to look. So anyway, yep, this is what it's like when you live out in the country. All the benefits of nature everywhere you go. By the way, yeah, I got started a little late tonight because I was busy. I tell you what, I'm glad we got that rain last. That's one thing about these fireside chats outside. You know, when it's so dry, I can't have them because this fire would cause the whole place to burn down. But we got a nice soaking rain yesterday, and things are great. I used the ferro rod and stuff to start that fire, and boy, things were wet. Anyway, but yeah, we're having our fireside chat today, so whatever you bring up in the chat, we'll discuss. Whatever's there to talk about. And as you can see, we're looking out west. That is because when it gets darker out, the silos that hold these things that shoot up in the air and go to other countries and make a big explosion, well, they're about 10 miles away. So every once in a while, you get some interesting stuff in the sky at night. So anyway, I want to do this. X-Bands, hey, nice to see you. Huh? You liking my fireside chat? I tell you what, this is great. You don't get much better than this. Tell you what, I was born too late. I should have been born in the cowboy days. Oh yeah, I'm enjoying my fire tonight. So without burning the place down. And out here in the sand, the Panhandle in Nebraska, it can get like a desert sometime. But I appreciate everybody being here tonight. But what do you want to talk about? You know, one thing, since we're out here at night, whatever happened to the drone story? The drones on the East Coast and that were being seen all over the world, basically, and all over the country. Whatever happened to that story? Boy, it's just strange. They went as fast, they went away as fast as they came, didn't they? Wonder if we'll see any drones out here tonight. But anyway, if you're here, if you wouldn't mind hitting this some thumbs up, the like button, I'd appreciate it. If you like the content, you want to support the channel, all I ask, hit the subscribe and the bell notification so you can get more of this stuff. And if you look at my other content, you're going to see why I feel like relaxing tonight and not getting all my gander up. I did that this morning, so that's one thing out here. As you can see, I don't have to worry about illegal immigration. But a lot of the stuff that normal Americans deal with, I'll say normal, because this is not normal to live in what you would call is still traditional America, where you can leave and not lock your doors or take your keys out of your vehicles and stuff. That's where I live, and I love every minute of it. So, oh, that fire's going good. That fire's going good. Nothing like relaxing on a Saturday night. So beautiful out, peaceful. People could sit there and feel this instead of all their anger they want to feel. Come out and enjoy themselves. You know, it's one thing about Mother Nature. It has a way of calming you down. Well, that fire's burning good. Real good. Nice and colorful, isn't it? I can just see some people. That must be AI generated. I've had that a few people say that a few times on my thumbnails and stuff, and it's like, nope, not AI. I sure hope not, because that would mean I'm living in the Matrix then. Anyway, but yeah, out west of here, why I got the camera out west of here, is sometimes you see a lot of action in the sky at night. I've seen a lot of weird stuff here during the day, but that was all stuff I could identify: airplanes, helicopters, lots of them, you know. But that's what happens when you got nuclear boom booms just 10 miles away. Oh yeah. Oh, you've been having you precise moment right here. My God. I love relaxing, man. The world's so stressed out. When you can take a little bit of time and just enjoy yourself, remember what the hell you get up for in the morning, remember why you put up with everything you put up with, and just enjoy yourself, you know, in ways that, I don't know, most people would call this boring. To me, I'd rather do this than sit in a crowded movie theater any day, especially with the movies that are coming out today. So, but yep. Well, what subject should we talk about? Should we talk about the Epstein list? Pam Bondi? I love it how Cash Patel and Bongino are sitting there threatening to quit or whatever if Pam Bondi doesn't get fired. Well, they ain't saying nothing about they're going to quit if the Epstein list don't come out. So that doesn't sit there and hold water with me, that argument with them. I tell you what, it's got to be a lot of responsibility on you. If you know who's on that list, I personally don't think they've seen it. I don't think their clearances are high enough. I mean, these people are rich and powerful and just beyond nasty. Maybe they do, but I'm sure you got to have a pretty high security clearance to see that list. Of course, a lot of them probably already know in DC and stuff who's already on the list because they've all seen them together at their parties. It's one thing about Trump and that whole thing. Is years and years ago when he's having those pictures taken with them, right? And he said he distanced himself from Epstein because he knew he wasn't on the up and up. And he knew what was going on. But what did he do about it? He didn't do nothing, did he? So, and now there's no list. Whatever. Two classes of people in this country, and we happen to belong in the class that have to follow all the rules, no jaywalking, wearing your seatbelt, you know, all this stuff. You know, pretty soon they'll make it so I can't even have a campfire in my own yard. I know they're trying to outlaw wood stoves, and that's what I got. You know how nice it is not having a heating bill in the wintertime? All I got to do is cut some wood out my grove and stuff, and I can heat my house, and it heats it way better than any petroleum-based fluid there is. But see, they want to take that away from us because that's independence. Last thing they want you to do is be independent. Last thing they want you to do is live a lifestyle where you don't have to spend money like the average American has to. Okay? I mean, my electric bill is $15 a month. $15 a month. Who can say that? But I still have electricity, right? Glad the cocaine party is over. How are you doing, man? I'm doing great. Doing great. No post-nasal drip here. That's one thing. When you're a poor, humble man, you can't even afford to be a druggie. Can't afford to be an alcoholic. All you can do is afford to sit out here and stuff like this and enjoy yourself. You know, you definitely aren't rich enough to do the crimes that the people on that list that doesn't exist did, okay? That's one thing about the average person. They're not in that class, okay? You're not in that class where you're sitting on the porch swing at the Queen's vacation residence taking pictures, right, like Epstein was. Crazy stuff, but there's nothing to see there. Right? The first time the media isn't mad at Trump for a decision he makes, the Democrats aren't mad at Trump for what he says. All these liberals, they're not mad at all for Trump saying there's no list. Can't imagine why. But I do believe there will be political repercussions from this. I do believe that is very possible, that in the midterms that the Republicans will lose the House and the Senate. Because you got to remember, there's a lot of Democrats and independents that wanted this list to come out too. So you're looking at Democrats and independents that were looking for Trump to do something they want to do. I just don't see the Republicans maintaining power in the next presidential election. I don't know. Does it matter which one we get? You know, Trump went to office promising the world, and the only thing he's doing, well, not kicking out illegals as fast as I want, that's for sure. But anytime, you know, ICE wants the Americans to help, us American citizens to help, that's fine, because they ain't throwing no goddamn rocks and bricks at my vehicle. I'm so tired of seeing that. That was what my rant was on this morning. Watching those videos of these illegals with their masks on, throwing rocks at cars, watching as every time they break a mirror in a window and damage the vehicle, knowing how much that's going to cost the taxpayer. Because you know when ICE vehicle goes to get a new windshield in, it's probably 10 times as expensive as the windshield you get put in. Anyway, I don't know why they're allowing this to happen. They're looking weak in front of a bunch of people that if you look at them wrong, they go running the other way. Bunch of cowards, but they're looking weak. Anyway, I'm sick of it. But tell you what, these people, you know, they just want to ruin our country. Waving the Mexican and the Palestinian and all these other flags, right? In America. That's why, you know, the LA, when you watch it, if you went to know you were looking at LA, you'd have thought you were looking at a foreign country. Was it not? Same scenery, different flags. Didn't see the American flag. You didn't even really see Americans. No, it must be nice when foreigners come to this country to protest on how bad they got it when they're getting their stuff handed to you, instead of protesting in their own country where they really got it bad. But then again, we all live in the twilight zone. Praise the Lord. I tell you what, tomorrow morning, if you want to be here on my other channel, on my other channel, I'm going to do on Lone Wolf Prepper Lives, at Lone Wolf Prepper Lives. And I'm going to do a religious program. I don't want to call it a religious program. I'm going to have a talk about Paul Harvey's A Letter from God. I shall support our president, but he better fix Epstein shit. He's got to. I mean, he's got to. It's not fair that all of us have to obey every single law. I mean, even let's admit it. Even the most heinous murderer in prison is probably not as half as bad as those pieces of shit on those lists that they say don't exist. Anybody disagree with me? The Guardian, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I got started. Yeah, what do you think? Maybe we'll see some This is the thing out here, feeling of freedom you get. I mean, you understand why the Indians knew what freedom was? Because this is what they saw. I mean, the other morning when I woke up and took a video of that sunrise, that was insane. I mean, I go wake up to let the dogs out, and the whole everything's orange and reddish and stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? I look outside and it's like, holy cow. I mean, I have to get a video of that. But yeah, this is why nobody's going to come to me. No man's going to come to me and tell me what they think freedom is. You know, I got an argument yesterday with somebody, or a day before, about that. Yesterday it was. Well, you say there's nine. What I was free to do when the Constitution was ratified, okay? A lot's changed since then. A lot. Beautiful land, man. Yeah, but I tell you what, there's even more. This is farm ground from southern panhandle in Nebraska. This is wheat fields and in cornfields and stuff. Where I go work up there and I do my fencing up there in the pastures. Whoo, that's some nice areas. Like I say, I like going to my office every morning when I'm up there in those pastures world. I don't ever, not afraid of anybody taking my place. Like I say, I can't even get illegals to do what I do. You know, they have their standards too. So all these politicians and people are saying that we need them here to pick our crops and stuff, which I'm in the agriculture business. I hate hearing that. But a lot of them don't want to do that. I mean, the ones that are coming in with manicured fingernails and $2,000, $3,000 worth of jewelry on and stuff, brand name clothes. Yeah, do you see them working in the dirty fields, getting all hot and sweaty? Not me. They got their standards, especially why would they do that when you got the government handing them money? Now, well, it's another thing Trump hasn't done. He hasn't ended the war. You know, it'd be nice if our government would actually stop spending money foolishly and our taxes could go down. Like all that money going to Ukraine for that war, that's stupid. But we got vets that are suffering in this country. But we're going to make sure Ukraine's in our... Anyway, it's stupid. I'm telling you, all you people that want to make a lot of money so you can pay more in taxes, so you can buy more military equipment that can kill people and give more money to people sitting on their ass. I got to the point where I decided that I'm not going to work any more hours than I have to give money to the government for whatever they want to divvy it out to. Okay? But, hey, the Guardian... I told you, Joey, what YouTube pays these people to do that shit. Flat out pays them to ruin their damn platform. Anyway, what do? Not everybody went to a good business school, I guess. That's what happens when you have so much hate that if you disagree with me politically or anything else, I don't want you as a customer. Or somebody, you know, us as creators, we make social media money. Okay, we're the product that they have. And they sit there and throw, a lot of times, the best product they have, they throw it right out the door because they don't agree that it's got a Make America Great shirt on the doll instead of selling. Anyway, that's not the way I learned business. I learned in business that last thing you do is tell 50% of the population you don't want them to be your customers. And the last thing you do is get rid of a product or a service that's selling like hot fire. I mean, could you imagine in the 80s, we ain't going to sell this Cabbage Patch shit. Joey's X-Nade. Oh, he must, well, don't worry. He's on somebody else's live stream being himself. But ever since then, ever since I got control, or we got control of the live stream, YouTube has chopped my channel. I tell you what, all this silencing of people, to where even a little guy like me isn't allowed to have my measly little subscribers be able to hear what I have to say. They got to search and everything for me. I mean, I had one guy we've been listening to each other for a year. He went off YouTube for a while, but he came back on. He said he couldn't even find me. And he knew my channel. You should see the games YouTube plays with taking views away from you, taking subscribers, making your analytics look bad and stuff. Like I always say, I'm the biggest, smallest channel on YouTube. My analytics, hundreds of thousands of views and stuff, whatever. That's okay, Jeffrey. I'm just as dumb as the rest of your followers, right? They shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. People say, well, it's their platform. No, this YouTube, X, and all this stuff, it's like the town square now. In today's day and age, it's the town square. And everybody's at the town square where everybody's allowed to talk. And let's say they have two places to talk, right? You have your liberal talking, or your Democrat on this side, and your conservative on this side. And the Democrats allowed to use a megaphone and stuff, just shouting out, and they put you in this booth that's soundproof and nobody can hear you. So the only thing they're allowed is to hear the Democrat screaming beside you. And they call that fair, okay? That's fair to them. Like what was that thing where they needed, I can't believe I can't think of what they call it. Where they want it the same time. The thing is, why people don't follow liberal shit? Because it's retarded stuff. And the ones that do follow it, you don't have a big percentage of the population like conservatives and Americans and patriots do, okay? What did they call that when they made it fair on the radio and stuff? Oh, I can't remember the term. Unfair and biased, yeah. What do you do? That's why we got everybody else out here like us. That's why you gotta, people, especially conservatives, would have a YouTube channel. If just one video they put on there telling the government what they frickin' think of them. I mean, if you had 150 videos of Americans, individual Americans, telling them what they thought of the government, well, the government would realize that maybe they were outnumbered. Crazy world, crazy world. Months upon months of nonstop wind. That's one thing here. The wind blows all the time. And when you get times like this, you got to take advantage of it. Because it could be another 6 weeks before I could do this again. Don't get no rain, and the wind starts blowing and everything dries out real good, to where if you blow a tire alongside the road, you can start a fire. Oh yeah, did it before. So anyway, but a lot of us Americans we ain't gonna let our country be taken. We live in the United States of America. We are a country. And the liberals want a revolution. They're trying to do their communist revolution. Just like they did in 1918, 1917, 18 in the Soviet Union, Russia. Trying to do the same thing. Same, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The one thing about back then in Russia, the kids were, well, you can say intelligent, physically fit, ambitious, stuff like that. They were able to take on their counterparts because they're in the same physical shape. Well, let's just say the younger generation isn't in that type of condition now, okay? Just because you got a flat tummy and spaghetti arms doesn't mean some older guy can't pick you up and bend you into a pretzel. Okay? Ooh, that fire's going good. Wait, think of my fire pit. Living life. Like say, if you want to hit that subscribe button, I appreciate it. The thumbs up and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel out goes a long ways. Because YouTube's really slamming down hard. Bam, 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 bam. They don't like what I got to say. Boy, whoever thought, when I was growing up, I never thought I'd live in a world where I would be shut up. As an adult, I'd be shut up. Okay, we were taught when we were growing up, if you want to be heard, you got to speak. If you got something intelligent to say, you need to say it. Nobody can want people to speak their mind. Tell me what I want to hear. I'm so tired of that. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear that we're going back to 1789 and we're going to or do the Constitution the way it was. You know what kind of freedom people would have? And for some people, I guess having total freedom could be scary, especially if the government's sitting there. Hey, we're going to protect your freedom. We're going to protect your pursuit of happiness. We're going to protect your God-given rights. But we're not in the business of handing out stuff. We're not going to have social services no more or health and human services department. You're on your own. You make it on your own, and you'll be more successful. I mean, that's what made this country was a lot greater. It was improving and becoming greater before the Health and Human Services Department, before Johnson's war on poverty. That's the longest war we've ever fought in this country, the war on poverty. Heck, we're still fighting it. And how many trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars have we spent on it? Okay? More than all the wars put together. You know what Thomas Jefferson say? The blood of the tree of liberty needs to be watered with the blood of patriots and tyrants every 20 years. Well, we might be a little overdue, but that's what we got to look forward to these days. So anyway, The Guardian. Anyway, I'm probably going to cut this one short tonight. We'll let that fire burn down. We'll talk to that fire burns down, and then we'll call it a night because YouTube is obviously doing their shit. We got a computer algorithm controlling my First Amendment rights. A computer algorithm. Right? Well, can I have the same? Is the fair playing field where I'm on the starting line and they're 1 foot. I know the potential of my channel. YouTube showed me it. And that's why when you go from 21,000 views on a live stream in an hour to 100, I don't know. Nothing to see there, right? Must not be on the list. The thing is, hey, I bet that you get a lot of patriots to talk about the two on Rumble series. I'm not on Rumble. You don't want to know why I'm on YouTube? Is because YouTube, those other places are echo chambers. They allow my speech on there, but everybody else is speaking like that too. These social media platforms allow what the owner's bias is. And that's what they need to get out of. I like I don't want to be in an echo chamber. When I sit there and get on here, my live stream, they get a little razzmatazz and I get comments on my shorts and my videos, a lot, especially my shorts. It gets people to think. But those people that want to see my stuff aren't going to Rumble. Okay? They're coming here. I mean, I can't build Rome overnight, but I know what's going on. But they cut me down, and then they let me grow again. And then they cut me down, and then they let me grow again. Okay? I need to take a day off. See, once I take a day off, then it's like the algorithm resets itself and forgets about me for a while. But yeah, I mean, people are pissed. They want to go to YouTube or these social media platforms with somebody that's feeling their same way. And that's one thing about social media platforms, right? You should be able to go, whatever you want to sit there and look up, you should be able to see it. Anything. But once a conservative gets on here and starts talking about the Constitution and how the government's screwing up and stuff, whoa. Or how you don't like all this woke stuff, whoa, we got to shut you down. Why? You know, this is the thing in this country. See, we're not a communist country yet. If you click on my channel and don't like what you're hearing and you want to leave, you're welcome to leave. It's not a lot communist country where I'd be put in and I'd be in a classroom, sit in my chair, and have to sit there for hours and hours on end while they repeated the same shit till I got the message, right? You don't have to do that here. Be Rumble, True Social, YouTube, and find what you want to look, what you want to hear. YouTube censorship is like a social class system in China. Yeah. Social credit score and stuff. Well, I want mine to be 0, so they leave me alone. I mean, if you got a low enough credit score, does that mean that you're exempt from everything? The government completely leaves you alone? You don't have to worry about them no more? Because, I mean, my social credit score would be a negative number. Along with a lot of other conservative channels, wouldn't you say? That old negative number. Anyway, since when alpha and sigma males and sigma and alpha females decide that we were going to knuckle under to this, the lower of us? And we're going to, whatever a liberal sister cries about, we got to accept, and that's just it. And we got to, why should I have to prove a man can't get pregnant? You prove to me he can. Okay? It's crazy shit to deal with. But everybody enjoying the fire? Oh, isn't that a beautiful sky? Well, no action though. Say, one of these times out here, we'll see some lights in the sky. Back when I used to live here between 2010 and 2017, and during the day, just a lot of weird shit happened. Seeing stuff you shouldn't see. Yeah, I had this morning about the vets, homeless vets. We got our own army to take our country back. We got it out there. We just need our leader. Hopefully our leader will be coming. But I know it ain't going to be nobody coming out of Washington, D.C. I don't want to hear nothing coming out of Washington, D.C. anymore. Frankly, I'll be honest with you. If Putin wants to nuke the son of a bitch in place, oh well. It'd be a good end to the place. Piece of shit swamp. Everything that's there that meant something has just been soiled beyond belief. Anyway, remember when the liberals were tearing statues down and all that other shit they were doing? Statues down of everything. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Don't they realize what country we live in? Realize the pain we're going through, us patriots are going through, watching our country being trashed. The anxiety we're getting from all this. But that don't matter to these people. It's all about them. Okay? Well, like I say, I don't have to worry about them out here. I'm glad they stay in the city. Because out here they would get teased and they would leave. Because your weirdo ways, if you don't keep them in your closet, somebody's going to tease you about it here. We don't like things coming in, and I'll call them things because they don't know what they are, so I guess they're a thing. On, sir, taking my dogs for a roundabout, and I wish you nothing but the best. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. Like I say, my channel's harder to find these days. But I tell you what, the views, how it was overloading, I don't know, something about I was getting 2 more views than I was supposed to have, and I wasn't able to handle it. Anyway, well, that's what happens when, you got somebody on here that ain't afraid to speak his mind. I get called crazy. But don't worry, the people that are calling me that think all this weird stuff, okay? You can be a girl if you want. All you gotta do is really wish really hard. Oh my goodness, has the world changed? That's where you really see the difference in how things are, is the education that they got compared to you and stuff. It's interesting. Anyway, I hope we all get busy one day taking our country back. That would be a good thing. Because we got many generations to come. And we don't want to be the generation that they're mad at because we totally trashed the earth. And I'm not talking about Greta the climate Grinch or nothing like that. But you know, we're not being nice to it. Like all the plastic bags, right? We had to get rid of brown paper bags because they were racist. So we had to come up with all these plastic bags, and then whatever our oceans are plugged up with them and stuff. Good thinking, environmentalists, and you stupid people that think with their emotions. Now you guys should have to pay to clean up the oceans. Anyway, but that's their mindset, okay? These people are so lost, and they're following people that fly around in 747s and stuff and have more of a carbon footprint in one day than they do their whole life, and these are the people they're following. But then again, some people don't really require intelligence to exist. That's why they need social services, right? So that is one beautiful sunset. Little fire going there. Oh, I'm loving life. Times like this, it just don't get no better. Got my Mountain Dew since I don't drink alcohol. Got my Mountain Dew. Having a good old time. Let's see how much light I got here. It's great when you can sit there and basically go camping, and you're only a couple hundred yards from your house. Up and stuff. I tell you what, I can sleep like a baby outside when you got a cool breeze. Nothing better. That's about the only weather I can sleep in. So that's all the lone wolf that's in me and stuff. Oh, there's Columbus. You can't see him. Anyway, all I know is you people that live in the city, I couldn't do it. Like that Survivor show, you put me on that island, I'm good to go. If they had a Survivor show where they put you out in the middle of it, like New York or LA or something like that, I might be in trouble. I would definitely be try to be the first one off the show. Because the money wouldn't be worth the hell I'd have to go through to stay in that place. Having to sit there, walk through and see the people, deal with, just everything. Let's see, I don't eat fast food. I don't eat out at restaurants at all. And blue state, just like New York City. I'm sorry about that, sir. I don't know what to tell you. But, you guys, you East Coast people, patriots, you take your states back. I mean, that's where America's. I mean, I heard those Maine boys were supposed to be the toughest there ever was. Easy living, I don't know what it is. If having a lot of money and easy living leads to that type of mentality, I will stay, like I say, I want to stay poor and humble. It makes things a lot easier. More often. Like I say, just need wet weather. So, it's where it's not dry as a bone and no wind. Then I won't burn a neighborhood down. That's one thing living out here out west. I mean, 2021. I lived in Minnesota then, right? I drove all the way from Minnesota out to Washington State, and I was in smoke the whole time and all the way home. I mean, there were sometimes you're driving through the mountains and you didn't see no fire, but the smoke was so thick that you were expecting the fire to be, I mean, where you felt nervous driving around because you didn't know if you were going to get trapped in a wall of flames and stuff. So, yeah, there was smoke all over that year. So, and I don't know if anybody's ever, not seeing the fire, but dealing with the thick ass smoke. I tell people, how do you live in this? I mean, there were like times where it's like a giant blew out a puff of smoke from a cigarette. You get just hit with this huge cloud, and I'd have to run to my vehicle to get away from the crap. Smoke from Canada. But it was just insane. That's one thing. If we manage the forest, well, we're not allowed to have wood burning stoves, right? But a lot of people dated have. Anyway, we need to manage our forest better. You got a lot of deadfall. You got a big storm that goes through an area of trees. You need people out there cleaning that shit up, or you're gonna have a serious problem in a year, 4 or 5 years. Freaking awesome. Why the hell did that phone just do that? That fire pit looks awesome. Does it not? Anyway, I guess everybody left us. YouTube buried me. It sucks when nobody wants to hear what you got to say. No, I shouldn't say that. When only a few. Boy, I tell you what, to have control. If I had control of a social media platform, I would never, what kind of rules do you have? Of course, I wouldn't sit there and allow you to live stream while you're shooting people down and stuff. And I guess I got to have moderators on my channel because some people need to be babysat when they come into the chat because they want to act like adult children. But anyway, I wouldn't shut people down, even if it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Somebody else out there wants to hear it too and probably agrees with it. Okay? Just because, but they know they're going to make money off of it. Okay? So, I just don't understand why you'd run your business into the ground. You got a good product or good service that people are buying. I mean, like Alex Jones. My God. YouTube, how much money were you making off Alex Jones? Just with the ad revenue. And you got rid of him? And then Jeff Bezos, what's he do? He sits there, runs 1,000 commercials. I'm sick and tired of watching some of the people that I watch. A lot of them seem to be Marines, but they have, out of an hour or two video, YouTube will put a commercial every 2 or 3 minutes, a commercial break. I'd like to sit down once. This one guy I watched, Prepared Mind, on his Sunday Night Live, and I like to watch a 2-hour video. I bet you any money it'd take me 6 or 7 hours with all the commercials they'd throw in there, if I had the patience. And then the thing is, he's demonetized anyway, and they don't even give him the money. There's nothing. If you're a social media platform and you're running commercials on run the commercials and you're going to take all the money, really? But a liberal, they can justify anything, can't they? Anything. Maybe not in the court of law, but in their mind. And until somebody sues them, like I say, there's a lot of channels when lost their business because all of a sudden they were a threat to the other side. And they weren't allowed to take no of him. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate you being here, Guardian. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on Lone Wolf Prepper lives. I'm going to give a letter from God, sermon dissertation. I'm time something like that. So I'm sure I'll get some atheists in there. But you know what? It has to be said. I'm not pushing anybody towards God. God don't want you being brought to him in shackles. Freedom of choice. He gave me a freedom of choice. You choose to come here. He loves you whether you believe in him or not, because you're his children. So anyway, we'll get into that subject tomorrow night. I think I'm going to start doing that every Sunday morning. Have like a little half-hour religious program. Anyway, thank you, YouTube, for pushing my live stream tonight. I appreciate it. But you know what? This Marine just doesn't give up ever. Unlike liberals where they get a little, attention in front of them or a little stop sign. Can't do anything. I need help. Anyway, but I appreciate everybody being here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow maybe. Or maybe tomorrow I'll take the day off from this channel so the algorithm can reset itself. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. But this is Tom with the Hidden Truths. I appreciate everybody being here. I am out of here.